Iranians in this country want to understand why there is such a commitment to building a nuclear program, even saying that it's an energy program, rather than helping people to live better lives, have better water, better electricity, lower inflation, all of these issues that they would like to perhaps see be the priority, and a better Iranian economy.
Of course we seek a better economy. But America on a daily basis increases sanctions.
Well, there you have Iranian President Pezeshkian speaking with Martha McCallum after its 12-day war with Israel. In new comments today, he seems to push for an end to the conflict with the U.S., saying, quoting here, "The war must end at some point. It is better to end the war today when we are in power and dignity and the whole world acknowledges our victory." That, according to state media. As a reminder, here's the reality for some in Tehran.
People are struggling to make ends meet. They can't afford it. They buy less. In my opinion, they really have no other choice. It has to negotiate and somehow work things out.
Let's bring in retired four-star Air Force General Charles Wald, former Deputy Commander of U.S. European Command. He served more than 35 years in the military and flew combat missions over the Middle East. General, it's great to have you on. It seems to me like you have the Iranian President Pezeshkian looking for an off-ramp, and yet the IRGC wants to keep going. Where does that put us?
Well, I think it's where we've been for a while. It's the going back and forth, thinking that if we punish them enough, they'll want to come to the negotiating table. Excuse me. And every time they do that, of course, they renege on their promises. So I think we're seeing a couple things. I think the IRGC has their back to the wall again, as I've said before. Number two is I think there's an internal a serious internal split in the leadership in Iran, the president versus the IRGC leadership versus the Ayatollah, for that matter. So I think we need to probably take any discussions we have with the Iranians with a grain of salt. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think we need to continue to make sure we keep the Iranian military capability to threaten externally down as much as we can, and certainly start opening up the Straits of Hormuz, and we can talk about that. But we have ways to do that. But I would not trust the Iranians as far as I could throw them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this. Here's what the chief of staff of Iran's armed forces said about Trump's threat of economic warfare. Goes on to say, quoting, "With preparedness across land, sea, air defense, and cyberspace, Iran's armed forces will respond to the enemy's new threats with crushing, punishing, and devastating responses." Does Iran think these types of specious statements are going to make the president just turn tail and run away? What's the thinking here by fomenting this kind of stuff with these types of statements?
Well, I give them some credit for the fact that they understand what you're implying, and that the United States, the president certainly, and the United States writ large, is not going to cower to the rhetoric of kind of bellicose from the Iranians based on no ability to follow up with it. The message to me is for the Iranian people. I really do firmly believe that the Iranian military leadership, IRGC, and the government, whatever that is really concerned with the population turning on them. Obviously, when they had the protest of months ago in January, and reportedly killed up to 43,000 Iranian citizens. That is a deterrent from people protesting. But if you look at the economic situation, the reports that you've seen and I've seen, that's been at several sources, 70% inflation. I read an article today where a lady reported in Iran she went to buy some simple groceries. It cost her 85 million rial, which is $65 US. It's amazing what their money has become nothing.
Right.
And so I think they're buying time. I think they're talking big, but I think we have to stick to our guns, so to speak, and be careful. But I think we stick it out and we start opening the straits maybe for a 6-hour period every day. Iran's going to crumble.
Yeah. General, great to have you on the show. Thank you. We appreciate it, sir.